This episode of Off My Shelf contains coarse language and adult conversation. Listener discretion is advised. My name is Tracy James, and welcome to Off My Shelf, a podcast about movies that are, well, off my shelf, where we go through my DVDs and talk about the movies in my collection. In this episode, Nilesh Patel joins me in talking about two movies with huge casts and doomed love, with Romeo Juliet and the Royal Tenenbaums. Welcome!
I'm finally back this season.
I know, it took you long enough to get here.
So excited.
Yes.
Obviously, the people were asking. They were writing in. They were asking.
I got so many letters being like, when is Nilesh coming back?
Comments.
Oh my
heaps
God.
of comments. And I know that we asked last time if this should be filmed. Mm-hmm. And guys, I don't think Tracy put that poll up, but I think this time she will put that poll up to see if you guys want to see us on video.
I will say you did put an outfit today that is... There's little bedazzling on a jacket over here that you're missing.
I'm trying to reflect both of our movies, but in that kind of glam way.
Because you're a lot.
Yeah. Also, the jacket is a bit preppy, so it kind of works for one of them. And
it's a preppy jean jacket covered in rhinestones. Yes.
There you go.
Style. It's like a Starfield.
Exactly. It's excessive prep.
Yes. Oh, talking about Starfield.
Yes.
Did you watch the Oscars this weekend? Or last weekend, I should say?
I did, actually. What did you think? Which of the movies do you think from the nominated movies? Because I think we disagree.
Wait, like the Best Picture movies?
Yes.
Okay.
Which one do you think would make it to your shelf now?
So to be honest, I did not watch all of those movies. I did not watch Oppenheimer.
Right.
I did watch Poor Things, which is kind of shocking to some people that I know. I loathed that movie. Same. I don't understand what the big deal was. Mm-hmm. I will say though, like the cinematography and the set design and stuff is beautiful. I hated the costumes. Right. I hated the story. Willem Dafoe's face makeup, pretty cool.
Not cooler than people in Barbie, but sure.
Sure. But I honestly don't understand. And I like Emma Stone. Should she have won an Oscar for this movie? Hell no.
Absolutely not. The fact that she has two makes me laugh.
Why?
She's a good actor. Is she a better actor than half the people who are on that list?
That's true. I did see La La Land, and
I don't get it.
I understood La La Land.
She does push herself from project to project, especially as she's come into her own. She doesn't do the same thing again and again. Mm-hmm. Is it... good for her. She's become a producer now. She produced that really hard to watch show. I think it's on HBO or something, The Curse.
Oh, I've never watched it.
It is... a lot of it is supposed to be very, satirical, but a lot of it is very hard to watch. Okay. And it's about this, yuppie couple that, moves into a community that is in need of, a community that's not doing very well, and they come in and try to, infuse it with, housing and all this kind of stuff. But obviously, Caucasian problems.
So, gentrify.
Yeah.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
And so she's one of them, and her husband is, this guy who has some, penis issues. It's a weird show. I watched, when I first saw the trailer, I was super excited. I watched 2 episodes and I was like, no, this show it's giving me the ick.
Well, that's what happened with Poor Things for me.
It's very icky. And then it swept so many of the awards that I couldn't understand. It won for best art design. It won for best costume. I was like, you cannot win for best costume over Barbie. They literally recreated, at one point in the movie, they show you how or where the costumes are linked to. And
okay, with Barbie, I understand why you think it's better than Poor Things. Mm-hmm. I get it. But they're just some pretty dresses.
But it takes a lot of work to make things look pretty on camera.
But everything takes a lot of work to make it look good.
True.
Right? And for me, despite my love of Barbie, I do have a collection. Okay.
Yeah, you're not a Barbie hater.
I'm not a Barbie hater. I actually really liked the movie, not as much as most people did, but I really liked the movie.
I don't think it deserves a Best Picture nomination, but I do think that in terms of, you know, when they first announced it, and like back in the day when Amy Schumer was attached to the project and all this stuff, people were like, what are they gonna make from this? Like, this sounds like the stupidest thing in the world. Mattel's involved. Like, what could they possibly do that is gonna be not reductive? And then the movie comes out and it wasn't reductive, and it was actually kind of like really turned everything on its head. And it's hilarious that, you know, from all of the things, or from all of the people who got nominated, it was Ryan Gosling that got nominated.
Yeah.
Because of what the movie's about. So if you haven't seen it, watch the movie, and then the nomination will make you laugh even more.
Yeah. And that's why I think it's hilarious.
But he was the only interesting part about the Oscars.
Yeah.
I was bored.
I'm sorry. When Ken got nominated for an Oscar, I was like, what? And then I'm like, there's no way it's gonna win. Then he did the performance. I was like, oh shit, this song might win. But it didn't win.
Billie Eilish won.
I was just like, what?
I understand that the song was a huge hit, but I'm not so sure if it's that profound for me.
It was better than the other songs.
Yes, but the other songs are also like, one of them was from like some Flaming Cheetos movie. That's the one that Becky G came to perform.
Really?
Yeah.
I was like, what is that?
So that's from the movie. It's an animated movie where like it's about a flame and an ice thing.
Oh, yes. Elemental.
There you go, Cheetos.
And also, I hated that movie. Like, it was bad.
So she was performing a song from that movie.
Oh my God.
And then I think the other song was from Killers of the Flower Moon, which, good for them. They actually did something that was more like, in terms of honoring a movie that is obviously talking about this really difficult and kind of like horrific point in American history. It's great that they introduced a best song nomination for the movie, and like had native performers. And
it also wasn't typical.
No, it wasn't typical, because normally they wouldn't have done that.
To be honest, I was a little confused, because like I was listening to it and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Yeah. But then I assumed it would be a typical song, that it would like, one of them would like stand up and just start like singing some ballad or something. And it didn't happen. I was like, first I was like, wait, what? Was that it? Which seems mean, because I don't listen to native music all the time, so I don't understand it.
In the movie, the song comes back as scores, like it's part of the score as well. So parts of it come back, and then so they have an original performance in the movie itself, and then bits and pieces come back throughout different scenes. Yeah. So it's always in the background. Yeah. So that weirdly enough.
I mean, the thing is, too, the more I thought about the song, the more I was just like, that was really like kind of amazing. Yeah. You know. Yeah. And I was like, good for them.
I'm shocked that she didn't win. But really? I think she would have won if she had been a Best Supporting Actor. But then there's always that weird thing of like, if you win a Best Supporting Actor, like an Oscar for it, do you then get cast as like a lead? You know what I mean? So that's always that forever thing. Like, people who in the past have won Best Supporting Actors have never actually gone on to become leads in their future movies. So it's a really weird thing. I mean, I'm glad that she didn't win, because I think she's got like a whole bunch of things coming out. And I usually find like people who won it, don't they have that thing where like, oh, well, Emma doesn't apply to Emma Stone because she's white.
Yeah. But there's the quote unquote Oscar curse, right? Like, if you come out, have your first movie, and you win an Oscar, you're never making anything good again.
Lupita Nyong'o came back after it's been 10 years since she won that award. Yeah. What else do you know Lupita Nyong'o for besides Us and like
Black Panther?
But in Black Panther, she's not the lead, is what I'm saying. Like, she doesn't get
no, she hasn't been a lead in a lot.
She was only the lead in Us.
Yeah. And that was a really good movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And right after she won her Oscar, she did that. I don't think she did it. I think it just happened to come out because they were trying to like piggyback off of her win. It was that movie called like, I think it's like Airline Airlift or something like that, where like she's on a flight, she's a flight attendant, and like it's a Liam Neeson movie. And
Nonstop. No. Yeah.
Nonstop.
Nonstop. Yeah. Nonstop. Okay. Woo.
Yeah. So that came up right after, and then she had like the most screen time. Yeah, but
that was probably filmed the way before. They were just like,
that's what I mean. Like, Black Panther, good for her. She's done 3 of them. Like, yeah, like it's good that she's in them, but sorry, she doesn't get enough. Like,
she doesn't get enough screen time. No, she doesn't.
And she doesn't get enough work for the fact that she's really good.
But I think the work that she does is, she's not making all of these like big ass movies.
Yeah.
You know? She's making movies and doing projects that she likes and wants to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
It's just unfortunate because it's like you never then see some talented people and then other people are shoved down your throat as like, this person deserves all the nominations. So it's like, do they actually? Oh, I don't know.
I will admit I did not see Oppenheimer or Killers of the Flower Moon, so I cannot comment.
I like Killers of the Flower Moon. I also like Oppenheimer. Would I watch it again? No. I think once was enough for me.
Okay.
It's very dense in the material, and really, like, given the fact that it's based off of an actual biography, it's not fictional. Like, stuff that's happening in the movie is not fictional.
I have to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Why was Oppenheimer's script nominated for Best Original Screenplay?
Because it's adapted from a biography.
Yeah, but that's not original. That's not original. That means it's an adapted screenplay.
Oh.
It's adapted from a book.
But does it? I think it only applies if it's like fictional. Like what was that movie the other movie that I actually really liked and I watched it, American Fiction.
Yeah.
American Fiction is from a novel, and I think that goes into adapted because it's fictional work that's then been adapted into a screenplay.
So then I have this question for you: why was Barbie's screenplay nominated for adapted screenplay?
I don't get that.
That didn't make any sense.
Yeah. Do you also think that like I think that's they kind of. Usually the production houses kind of put in the names in those categories. So the whole thing is like, it's not that the Academy then says like, you guys are adapted screenplay. It's the production houses that tell the Academy, okay, we would like to be considered for this particular category.
Yeah, but as an Academy, if you get something and you're just like, no, you picked the wrong category, you actually belong here. Wouldn't they do that?
But don't they do that all the time now where like there are certain movies that come out as like, not in movies, maybe, I can't remember who, I think it's the SAG or maybe it's the Emmys, where like, like The Bear, the TV series,
show, yeah.
It comes up under comedy and it's like, this is not comedic.
Yeah, there's a real issue with the idea of what comedy is these days. And this is not just on award shows. This is just generally. People are just like, we're putting out this really ruckus comedy. And you're just like, oh, a man tried to kill himself and is rolling in the dirt. But every once in a while, he like farts. So it's a comedy. And you're just like, is it?
Yeah. And as a result, when things get nominated in weird places, other deserving things
get pushed out.
Get looked over because they're just like, well, this show is so great. And they're right. The show is really well done. It's just not a comedy.
Yeah.
They talk about like mental health. They talk about suicide. They talk about self-harm. Like, this is not comedic.
Yeah. I mean, you can do that. Like, there's shows that have done it in the past.
Yeah.
Like, you know, one of the famous ones is Scrubs.
Yeah. But the episodes where it's happening, those are not funny episodes for The Bear.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like, do you know what I mean? So that's the thing about it. But anyways, sidetracked.
That's the whole thing. Also, I know you're into fashion. Who do you think was nicely dressed?
I thought everybody was serving milk tea this time.
Okay, so it wasn't just me. I thought people were just so safe.
Just wearing, like, it was just like, okay, so just another day for you. And people are gooing and gawing and goobering themselves over Zendaya's, like, Armani from, like, 1990s. And it literally looked like it came out of the 90s. There was no update to it. Good for you that you have the money to pull and buy those pieces for yourself. Great job, like, for you and your stylist. But is it really delivering anything?
I will say, America Ferrera
killed it. Like, if you had to think of like one dress in your head that was like instantly like, whoa, good dress.
That was
good dress.
And I know Lupita, her dress, I'm coming back to her, that she wore to.
Why was she wearing glitter in her fucking hair?
Well, because it actually kind of like aged the last time she was at the Oscars.
It just looked like makeup gone awry because deep skin unfortunately doesn't photograph on camera. On traditional cameras, the way that like a lighter skin does. Yeah. And so a lot of times those kinds of effects, they end up looking garish on camera. Like when she came out, I was like, you look like somebody fumbled and then drop a bunch of glitter on you.
I didn't mind it. I honestly didn't mind it.
Because it was on the side of her forehead. Like it wasn't like, I feel like if it was more of a foiled effect, it would kind of look more interesting. But this just felt like, I'm going to sprinkle some glitter in your hair after this.
Got it.
And then we'll just look like two of a pair.
But I think her Vanity Fair dress is the one she should have worn to the
Yes.
I don't understand.
Some of these people out here, they're wearing some random things. Yeah. And some other people, I'm just kind of like, you're very naked for the Oscars.
Not even getting started with this one. Whatever. Anyways.
There's a lot of visible underwear. Which, I mean, it's fine. Sheers are fine. I just think like sheers can be a bit bizarre.
Yeah, I find lately that there seems to be this idea that to be sexy, you have to be naked.
All the time.
And I'm like, you don't have to be naked to be sexy. Also,
I feel like it's not particularly interesting after you've done it for the 6th time or 7th time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. In that way, I will say Zendaya is never nakedy. Like, she has moments of it, but it's never like full and all and out, like just like...
Yeah, she's got like illusions of nudity. Like when she wore that molded dress that looked like it was just like wet cloth on her.
Yeah.
That one, you're like, it's got the illusion of like throwing a wet blanket over you, blah, blah, blah. It's sultry, whatever.
But and she's worn like the Tom Ford, like the molded breastplate. Like, but even that, I just think like they just always manage to turn it where it doesn't look naked.
Yeah, but she's also a person who has a bit of class to her, it seems.
Yeah.
And if they brought her something like that, I feel like she would just be like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Or find a way to like cover up my boob because I'm not.
Yeah. Well, you get to say that when you're like a superstar, basically.
Yes. Yeah. So you get that freedom, luckily. Yeah.
Stupidest outfit I think I saw was Cynthia Erivo. I know that she came in. Who is Cynthia Erivo? Cynthia Erivo is going to be the witch in the forthcoming Wizard of Oz movie that's coming out, the musical with Ariana Grande and so she's playing the witch in it. So she came in that green leather dress.
Oh no, liar! No. Okay, I don't know why I don't know this woman's name yet, but I find her quite fantastic. She
always is fabulous in the styling. There was just something about it that was just going so far, and she had a whole Whoopi Goldberg thing happening with her no eyebrows and everything. It's just getting like so costumey that I was like, you're here to promote your movie.
It is a little costumey, but I'm sorry. She turned around and she's a fucking dragon. That's amazing.
Yeah. That paired with her nails was very interesting. Yeah. Was it my favorite look ever? No, that she has worn, because she's worn better looks than that, because she's also had an Oscar nomination when she played Harriet Tubman.
Sure.
Yeah, she played Harriet Tubman in a movie and she got nominated.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, no, I didn't, I'm sorry, this is going to make me sound like a bad black person, but all them slavery movies, I don't watch them. I don't need to feel it's too triggering. It's very triggering.
I don't blame you.
And I know some of those stories. I've read some books. I've seen some, some documentaries and whatnot.
I think it's enough.
But I don't need to be like, hey, let's look at black people be tortured for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Not my idea of a good time. It frustrates me.
There's a Janelle Monáe movie like that came out on Prime during COVID that I was so excited about.
That was
it looked
Antebellum.
Yeah, but the trailer looked like a horror. And then it just, when I started watching, I was like, this is a slave movie? Mm-hmm. What the hell?
Yep.
And I was so excited that she was going to be in a horror movie. And I was like, this is going to be so exciting. It looks like a thriller. Something's happening. No, what's happening is slavery.
She just got kidnapped from the future to become a slave. Yeah. That's all it is.
Just a bizarro thing. Yeah. Hey, the 2 movies that we're talking about today, did they get Oscar nominations, both of them? Yes.
I'm pretty sure they did. Somebody got nominated for something somewhere. The shows.
I feel like the Royal Tenenbaums for sure did. I remember that very clearly.
Nominated for...
one Oscar?
Romeo and Juliet was nominated for 1 Oscar, which was Best Art Direction and Set Design.
Yikes.
It got nominated for a bunch of things, but not a lot of, a Blockbuster Entertainment Award.
No, that's not real. That's not real.
That's not real.
All right, so let's talk about Romeo and Juliet.
Favorite actor, Leo DiCaprio and Claire Danes were favorite actor and actress. I'm very excited.
Yeah, that sounds like as trusty as the Globes.
Yes.
So Romeo and
Juliet. I want to start this one.
Yeah, go for it.
Because when I was watching this, I had this dumb look on my face the whole movie because it's pure nostalgia. Because there's a very specific connection to this movie and a very specific memory. So this came out in 1996. I was in grade 10. And
I was a fetus.
I hate you. And so, like, we had finished reading Romeo and Juliet at school. Mm-hmm. And we had a field trip to watch the movie. So imagine a whole group of Catholic school kids, little kilts and stuff,
right,
going to the 4, 10, and 7 movie theater on like a Tuesday afternoon. It's not there anymore.
When it was like $4. When Tuesday was $4.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I want to go see a $4 movie.
Not
these days.
Please. The cheap Tuesday movies are like $18.
Or like Rainbow Cinemas. Well, I don't think it's called Rainbow Cinemas anymore, but like they used to have Toonie Tuesdays.
Yes.
$2.
But they're down to like, they're at like $7, which is not crazy.
That's not wild, actually. Yeah. And the seats are really nice there. But anyways, you were saying. So yes, you went to 410.
So we were there. And I still remember there was like a fight between like the guys and the girls, because all the girls sat together and all the guys had to be like, we got to spread out down here or whatever. And we started throwing candy at each other, and our teacher was like, shush, you got to watch the movie. The movie starts. And especially the point where you see DiCaprio on the stage for the first time, and Romeo does he's got like the 90s hair in front of his eye, and he like turns around. The from the women and the groan from the guys.
It's very much like, even in the movie, it plays that way. That when he turns to the screen, it is played for that effect.
Oh yeah, You have the whole point of him is to swoon.
They're both very beautiful in the movie.
They are.
It's too bad that neither of them are very much anymore. But
but you have to realize,
I wouldn't say they're unattractive.
30 years old.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's been a while.
And while everybody's on the Rudd train in this movie about how he never ages, go back and watch this movie. He aged. He looks good for his age. Don't get me wrong. He looks good for his age. Yeah. I personally did not know that he was in this movie. And so when people are like, oh my God, he's just like never ages. No, he's aging. He's just aging slower than you guys.
Yes. He's got a very good skin regimen or something going on.
Or a good dermatologist. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Part of a skin regimen. Mm-hmm. Get it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I watched this movie, and I was just back in high school again, giggling with my friends in that stupid theater. We're like, oh my God, he's so cute.
The start of the movie is hilarious.
It's great.
Because I was not expecting that. It's been kind of like forced. I previous to this, I only watched it for the purpose of our chit chat. Because I'd never needed to see it before this.
Sorry, this is the first time you've seen it?
This is the first time I've seen it. I've never seen it before.
What?
I was only born in 1990.
That is not an excuse. That is not an excuse. Okay? No.
I know. You also didn't educate me when we met to say like, hey, watch this. This is when everybody had DVD players in their homes.
Yeah, but also I was suggesting, you're like, no, I'm not going to watch that.
That's not true. I actually listen to you a lot for movies and books.
Yeah, I do read a lot too, don't I?
So there you go. Yes. Okay. Yeah. That's a separate podcast, you guys. If you guys want us to talk about that, let us know. Comment below.
Anyway, so yes. So I did not know this was your first time watching this.
Yeah, I'd never seen it before.
And I am so interested in trying to find out what is up.
So when I started watching it, I 100% will say I agree with the fact that yes, it is definitely nostalgic, because having seen other movies from the 90s, it definitely has a very 90s imprint in how the movie's filmed and how it's even like just how they've themed it, what some of the looks are costume wise, what the settings are looking like. It's really cool that it is, obviously it's LA, right? Yeah. I was like, am I wrong or is this LA? It's LA? It's LA adjacent.
I feel like
there's a lot of CGI, bad CGI.
The city they put together is an amalgam of a bunch of different places.
Well, the Jesus thing hanging out in the middle of the city is another Janet Jackson video intro thing.
Yes, that
like just bad CGI. Yeah. But I was really shocked that when they first started speaking, because I was not expecting it, because I'd only ever seen the trailer for this movie. Even like in my teens, I'd only ever seen it in passing somewhere, like, you know, when they re-release movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd only ever seen the trailer. So I didn't think that the movie had classic, true to the actual play lines.
Oh, you did? Oh, you thought they were just speaking like regular? It's like, "What's up, girl? How you doing?"
Well, no, I think I just thought that like the dialogue would be somewhere in that world, but like it was really weird. So in the beginning of when it started, the first 5 minutes, the first scene where they're at the gas station and the whole thing goes around. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know who they were trying to fool with their nonsense, but it looks like the beginning of a 90s comedy movie.
Yeah, but I think it's supposed to.
It's playing that way.
I also think that's why Jamie Kennedy was hired for it. Like, I think it was because the characters of Romeo's friends, they're supposed to be just a bunch of goofballs who are like, we're a gang, blah, 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 blah. Everybody, you've read Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Right? You get this. And so I think it was supposed to be that. It was supposed to show this, like, frantic nature of this feud between these families. Yeah. And, it was one of those movies that was like, why is this so overly stylized and so frantic? Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why people were so drawn to it at the time. Because, like, there were a few things that had this stylization, but not really. Not to this level.
It felt very much like, and obviously that's also very much like a Baz Luhrmann kind of motif that he then followed up in like Moulin Rouge. Then he also did that other movie like Elephants or whatever, Australia. No, it was called Australia. Yeah. So he has that motif of like this very grand production always.
But I think his first movie was Strictly Ballroom or something? Yeah. Which I thoroughly loved.
But and it's also very different than what he then proceeded to do after. Yes. So it's kind of like this is his world, or like this is what he likes to do. Because then after that he did more recently movie in which, I think Zendaya's in it too. Where they're all in a circus.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. But, I will admit, after watching this movie, I did try to watch Moulin Rouge, and I hated it.
Oh my god, Moulin Rouge there's a lot of issues with the movie.
And so, like, I just never understood what the big deal about Moulin Rouge was. But I also try not to complain about it.
So then he did Elvis, and then what else did he do?
The Great Gatsby is what he did.
Great Gatsby he did as well, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so they're all kind of like this. He is very much of this time period, and he enjoys this time period a lot. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense. He's in his element when you're watching it. Yeah, you get it that like this is somebody who understands the environment around him, and that's why this movie is so watchable. Is it my favorite watch ever? No. Is it a very watchable movie? Yes. And I will definitely say it comes down to like everybody who's cast in the movie too. Like the movie's perfectly cast.
It is fantastically cast. Yeah.
And it's so hilarious that they're all around even now. Everybody's working even now. So it just goes to show that they weren't just like a flash in the pan kind of. Nobody's a flash in the pan who's cast in this movie.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you.
So, and I mean, come on. Leonardo DiCaprio has only become like the most well-known actor of his time.
Well, in the like 90s, at the start of his career, except for like What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Did he do Gilbert Grape after or before this? Before. And then he did Basketball Diaries as his like introductory movie, I think.
No, Basketball Diaries wasn't his introductory movie, was it?
I feel like it was because Gilbert Grape he got because of the fact that somebody saw him having like these addiction issues, and they're like, "You play a good person, a good character."
I'm trying to remember the order, but you might be right. Because, okay, so the first thing I remember him from is Critters 3. Bad horror movie. It's fine.
What is that?
It's a bad horror movie.
So now I have to go see this. I love horror.
Kid. Oh, yeah, he had an appearance in Roseanne. Yeah, I've
never seen the show.
You've never watched Roseanne?
I know of Roseanne. I've seen clips of it, but I've never seen the show.
He was in Poison Ivy? I don't remember that.
Is Poison Ivy like a Batman related thing?
No.
Okay, no.
It's
sorry.
A Drew Barrymore thing, if that's the right movie. Yeah, it's a Drew Barrymore movie.
Wow, in the 90s anything got produced.
Yeah. It was
must have been a fun time. You could just bring garbage and just be like, yeah, we're gonna produce it.
No, okay, so he did This Boy's Life first, which was
then he did What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Then he did What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
And then he did Basketball Diaries? Yeah. That is
yeah.
Wow. Okay, good for him.
He did The Quick and the Dead before Romeo and Juliet?
Wow. I don't even know what And then he did Then he did an in between movie where nobody paid attention. Because do you know what Marvin's Room is?
I have no idea what that is.
And then he did Titanic. And from then he's never looked back.
Yeah. Celebrity, The Beat. Yeah.
I've never
Don's Plum.
Never seen Celebrity or Don's Plum.
I know.
I've seen everything else though.
Celebrity is Woody Allen, isn't it?
Is it?
I think so.
Yeah. So I've never seen Celebrity or Don's Plum. But after that, I've seen everything else. So that just goes to show that.
I've never watched The Aviator.
Never seen. Oh, I've not seen Body of Lies.
Revolutionary Road. Or J. Edgar.
J. Edgar, he doesn't play. He's not a lead.
Doesn't he play J. Edgar Hoover?
Does he?
It says here he plays J. Edgar Hoover. I think he's the lead.
Obviously, nobody. When did it come out?
I
was alive and well in 2011.
Yes,
so
yes.
We obviously don't care about historical characters as much.
Yeah, no, I don't. I really don't. Yeah, all of his like.
He's become pretty prolific. Cause up in like post Romeo and Juliet, anyways. Mm-hmm. Everything else he's done you have like it's got name check credibility. Yeah. Like every time somebody says the name, you're like, oh, I know what movie that is.
Yeah, it's a DiCaprio movie. Yeah.
So good for them. And even Claire Danes, I mean, she's gone on to become what she did. She's now on her like third show. Like she did Homeland. She did like some other show of like what's happening with so-and-so and it's on Disney Plus or something like that or whatever.
Oh, yes. I watched like the first 2 episodes and I was like, I don't need this in my life.
Yeah, but she, like what I'm saying is that she's done so much work on TV that like, and good TV, like not TV that's just like got canceled.
Throw away. Yeah.
Because I don't see her being on a show like that, but I just think like in general, everybody else, even in the supporting cast, like John Leguizamo on it, which by the way, in that opening scene, that vest he's wearing, sick, so good, so good. I couldn't even believe some of the costumes in the movie are probably some of the most relevant, and I feel like because obviously 90s and the sort of like the early 2000s is all coming back, it feels so relevant in terms of costumes now. Well, and like clothes that you can wear.
Because you know how fashion is cyclical.
Yeah.
Cyclical. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, right now the 90s fashion is really in. Mm-hmm. So everything in this movie, if I saw them walking down the street, they'll be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem out of place.
No, and it really has. It has got good pace. The fact that I was shocked that it's only 2 hours.
Yes.
That's some like very 90s editing because they're just like, no, you cannot go past this.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Killers of the Flower Moon is at like sitting at 3 hours and 30 minutes or something like that. Like it's a long watch.
Yeah. One of the reasons why I didn't, and also I was just like.
But now that's more accepted because I feel like even like having Indian movies come to the forefront of
Native American films.
Well, no, I'm talking about like East Indian movies.
Oh, okay.
Becoming that's like, fine. RRR, which got nominated last year.
Watch it.
But like, that's what I'm saying. But those kinds of movies, because Indian cinema movies have always had 3 hour plus spans, I feel like more and more as time has gone on, American movies have been like, well, if they can do it, we'll do it too. We don't need to edit it down, which is great because you sometimes get to see some scenes develop a little bit better. Some movies, though, they do need to be edited
down.
But
do you think maybe the length has more to do with binge culture than like the previous?
I mean, we did watch during lockdowns. What was that 6-hour movie that they released of? Oh Lord, it was from DC.
Oh, the Zack Snyder thing.
Yeah,
that was 4 hours. I'm real angry about it, and I could clearly tell you where you can easily cut an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I could probably find that next half hour very easily.
Do you want to just say Superman's real name? Just once.
What?
You want to just say Superman's real name?
Clark Kent?
No.
Henry Cavill?
No, the thing that Wonder Woman calls him in the movie.
What does she call him in the movie? Kal-El?
But she says it, you have to say it like her.
What? Look.
Kal-El.
Look.
She's trying very hard to find her accent in that, but it's funny to me.
I will say I tried.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't tell me I didn't try. I fucking sat down and I watched that fucking movie.
It's too bad though that the outros in that movie, like the end credit scene or post credit scene, never got developed because he died. The actor in it.
What are you talking about?
There's a post-credit scene in that DC cut, in the Zack Snyder cut, sorry, where it's Ben Affleck and this other character. I don't
know who you're talking about.
So we're gonna have to look it up. But anyways, the actor who's in that post-credit scene, though, unfortunately, he died recently. He used to be on Fringe and like
that guy?
Yeah, he had a really great speaking voice.
Oh, because he was the voice of Martian Manhunter.
He's been the voice of like a million video games, apparently.
Yeah, he's been all over the place. Yeah,
and I really liked him.
I really liked him. I hated Fringe, but I really liked him.
So it's unfortunate that we'll never get to see like things get developed further. But anyway,
we're
getting off topic again.
We are getting off topic because you brought up something stupid.
Sorry.
Stupid Snyder cut. Whatever.
Enraging you.
Anyways, what are we talking about? Romeo Juliet, fashion. Okay, we passed that part. But so like overall, did you like the movie or no?
I did. I think it's a good. I can appreciate it for, like you said, for the art in it. I can appreciate it for the fact that they really stuck to the actual original play and.
Lots was cut from the play though.
Yeah. Like you could, you know exactly where they're like, yeah, this is not important.
Yeah.
And I think it's for that 2-hour edit thing. I think if this movie got made today, they would make the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah, I think they would. I think they would because it would be high art, right? Like it'd be like, oh my God, you guys, we get to like do this.
Yeah, but I actually feel even if they made it now, it wouldn't even be modern times or the original time period. They'd be like dystopian future. And
right.
Robots. And
everybody would be wearing Zendaya's Mugler
outfit or something.
The robot outfit.
You'll be like, what is? Then everybody would be like, sorry, why are you talking like Shakespeare? No, this just definitely doesn't make any sense anymore.
Yeah, it's a very of its time, but I do think that it's a good movie. Is it a movie that makes it onto like my personal list? No.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Because I do find that there's moments out of it that do drag a bit more.
Like?
I think it could just be that I have a hard time watching Claire Danes cry all the time.
She only cries at the very end.
No, I know.
Okay.
But just even like there's scenes where like she's in that little altercation with her dad and he's dragging her out and and those are like pivotal scenes obviously for this movie and for the play. Mm-hmm. But like it's not very. There are parts of it where I was just like, ugh, what's going on my phone?
But like they did things in this movie that I found was, I think people still think like it was fantastic.
Yes, absolutely.
Like the part that was supposed to
be music.
the balcony scene, for example.
Yeah.
Where they made it into a pool scene, which I thought was hilarious.
The pool scene is hot.
Did you know that's the first scene they filmed for this movie?
And apparently he every time they would forget the line, they would have to restart it.
Crazy.
To say all of that and then be like, oh, by the way, while you're hanging out in water, since you forgot one of the lines, start the scene at the top.
Do it again. Yeah. It's Shakespeare. You can drop scenes. Yeah. You can drop sections.
But I don't think you can do a line by line edit.
You cannot change a line. Mm-hmm. You can't just, I just ad-libbed it. You're like, nope, it's fucking Shakespeare. Go back and do it again.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it has to be, you know? I love the part where, they meet in like the bath. They first see each other in the bathroom, and like the men's and women's is separated by.
What a gorgeous wall!
It's beautiful, beautiful. Also, if I saw a Hackman on the other side, I'd be like, I'm gonna check you out too.
Seriously, no, that movie definitely has some very iconic, cool moments, and even the music in it. The fact that the music is
fantastic.
The music is not from because it's Shakespeare. You're kind of like, oh, I don't expect this interjection of music that is. Basically like
dance rave music and then followed with like Radiohead and you got Desiree singing a ballad.
Yeah.
You're like, what? This is so cool. Yeah.
God, I love Desiree.
Yeah. Just
why doesn't she record anymore? Her, Sade, all these people. Why do they take such long breaks?
I mean, yeah, Sade takes breaks, but she puts out
Meanwhile, we have to listen to Tove Lo and Charlie XCX.
You've just said something in a different language
there you go.
I have no interest about.
I don't recognize those people. I'm good.
No, I'm good. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, like, I hate the fact now that people mention people. I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the shit is that? I have no idea.
It's like, they're from the UK. Okay, good. Good for you.
And they're the Huston Balbu. You're like, what? What are you?
Gay?
What? The hamper stand Gucci foot? I don't know who that is.
Yes. Oh my God.
What is going on?
I mean, I like being current about what's happening, but that's a little too current even for me.
Yeah. No, like half the time, but also no. You know what? I'm gonna stop this because I'm just aging myself. I'm just throwing, wood on the fire. We're like, she's old.
No, she's very youthful. In our texts, sometimes I have to be like, where's all this language coming from?
I can't help it if I have the Riz.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. You have the Riz.
I did it.
You have the Riz. It's okay.
I even watching this movie this time, I actually hadn't watched it, I realized, in quite some time. But it was a movie that was on pretty regular rotation for me. I'd watch it pretty often.
Unpopular opinion, do you think that, I mean, I'm not talking about the movie, I'm talking about the play. Mm-hmm. Do you think Shakespeare has written Romeo as like what today would be known as a love bomber?
Oh, he's a fuckboy.
Yeah, but he is also like love bombing like Juliet into being like, I love you, why don't like just be with me? And then this poor girl is like just basically like, oh my god, I just like don't know what to do. I'm just gonna fall for all your nonsense.
Unpopular opinion. Shakespeare's a bad writer, so there's lots of plot holes in here, which frustrate me.
Not just in this, by the way.
Lots of things. And, like, I understand that he has had a prolific effect on literature and the way we speak.
Yeah.
The names we call people, like Jessica. No, apparently he came up with the name Jessica. I don't know. It's a thing.
And became popular.
Yeah. But, like, half the time, like, I read the stories, I was like, so?
And? Yeah.
You're just like at the end of the thing I'm like I know you guys have a plan. He's been banished and she's like, I'll stay here for a bit and we'll meet up together later and we'll figure it out. But like when you find out that you have to marry this other dude, you could also have just run away.
Yeah.
Just gotten up and left.
Super easy.
Instead of this whole plot of like, I'm gonna pretend I'm dead.
Which, oh my god, never mind. Yes.
Yeah, it's this whole thing.
Comment if you guys want us to review more of these Shakespeare movies. Even if she doesn't have it on her shelf, we can absolutely do that. So send us a review.
There are so many versions of Shakespeare.
There's so many versions of Macbeth.
Of Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Macbeth, Hamlet.
Yeah.
There was a couple, they did like Much Ado About Nothing.
Yeah. They did Midsummer Night's Dream.
They did King Lear, but there's also a movie called like 1,000 Acres or something, which is also
Lear-esque.
It's based on King Lear. It's this guy who owns like a big farm and has like 3 daughters, and like the daughters are whatever, one daughter is really nice, and you're like, what? And then there's like Taming the Shrew, that is 10 Things I Hate About You, and like,
which I mean, I'd be absolutely happy to redo 10 Things I Hate About You and like have a little chit chat, because I think it's one of the most like as a teen, it's the prolific, iconic, still standing, relevant teen movie.
I've seen that movie once, and I was well into my 20s.
It plays all the time though. You can still catch it on like cable network sometimes.
Yeah, but if I had a choice between that and let's say
Romeo and Juliet, I would pick Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, I would. Yes.
This is more fun to watch.
It is. Yeah. Because it's also like the colors in the movie are like so saturated and stuff. And of course the super 90s thing was just to have neon where neon usually isn't neoning, Yeah. Like in the burial chamber, all the crosses are outlined in neon, and you're like, oh my god, I can feel the pain, but see the pain. Yeah. It's a whole thing. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it rightfully deserved its nomination for art in said direction.
But I also just like they announced this year at the Oscars that next year they're gonna have a category for like casting director. And the casting director for this movie should have won that Oscar.
Should have, yeah.
Because she,
well cast.
Whoever it was, they picked everyone perfectly.
Yeah.
From Tybalt to Romeo and Juliet, of course, to the priest, to the Montague parent that you see for 3 seconds. Yeah. And they also, like, the guy who plays the dad of the Montague, you're like, I know that guy.
Yeah, he's been in Sopranos. He's been in a million things. He always plays like the classic Italian dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, you're talking about the Capulet.
Sorry.
Yes. Yeah. You're talking about Romeo's dad, which is that other he always plays like a cop or something in things.
Yeah.
He's got that.
They both work on like a lot of movie, a lot of TV.
Yes. Yeah.
Recognizable
names.
Just
you all like the kid who like drives Romeo out of town.
The one who's standing beside him in the church when they get married.
Yes.
He's in then like 90s rom-coms, like teen rom-coms.
Yeah.
So if you've never seen it, if you've never seen Romeo and Juliet, go watch it because there's so many clockable faces.
Well, even the prince. Like, you're just like, oh, that black guy who's a cop and everything.
Yeah.
There he is.
And then he's on Showtime, and he's in a show. And so, okay, one of Romeo's friends, the black guy,
he's from
sorry
Oz.
guys, I didn't write down all their names. I really should have.
He's from Oz.
We should be more professional. Exactly.
So his name is Harold Perrineau.
There you go.
He's a prolific actor. He's
great actor. He's on a Showtime show where basically like everybody gets trapped as they're driving through this town, and essentially like at night like ghosts try to get in and they look like people that you know. Great show. I've seen it a couple of times, but it's
yeah, that's right. He's also in like The Matrix.
Yeah, it's a watchable horror show. It's a horror show is what I would call it.
What do you think it's called?
If you keep going down, you probably might see it.
He's on The Rookie for a couple of episodes.
There you go. But in this, he's the lead. The show's called From. So then the cop is also in one of the episodes in From, and I was like, oh my god,
that's what From is about. Okay, maybe I'll try to get it and watch.
It's a horror show. So if you don't like horror movies per se, or you're not a horror genre fan, this may be not the show for you.
Okay, so maybe I won't watch it then.
Which, by the way, I think if you guys want to review horror movies on the pod, please let us know, because I would love to make Tracy watch horror movies.
I have a few horror movies.
You never reviewed any? Not yet.
I have The Grudge.
Please invite me back.
Which I know will surprise people. It's in the T's because you can't just say Grudge. It's The Grudge.
It is The Grudge. It's The Ring.
So it's in the T's. So there's at least one horror movie coming up for sure.
There you go.
That's the only one I can think of right now.
Please invite me back. Thank you.
Ew, no. People write in and let us know if you don't ever want to hear from.
That's so rude.
That's so mean.
You guys will be so excited to hear me talk about horror because I have such a huge. There's a new one that's coming out that I'm so excited about. But anyways, that's besides the point.
Yeah, The Grudge is really the only real horror movie that.
You're not a horror fan. You specifically don't like horror.
I do have a want for a good psychological like thriller horror.
Yeah,
like I
like Us is in that world.
Yeah, so I've seen Us. Like I really like,
and I actually really like that movie
because I'm not into like torture porn or gore.
No, me neither.
Or jump scares.
Me neither.
Like I want to be. It's got to be one of those things like you're scared because you don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I
like Quiet Places like that for me.
Yeah.
It's all in that world, but it's not necessarily just like go. Like I don't really care for Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah,
like,
no, I don't care for any of that.
That's not horrifying to me. That's real life is more horrifying than that.
Yeah, I just look at that and I'm like, that's just gross. Why would I want to look at that?
Yeah, no, but there's a couple of new ones that are coming out that I'm really excited about. So I was like, definitely, let's do a horror episode, maybe for Halloween.
Well, yeah. What did I do last Halloween? What did I do?
Not a horror movie.
No, last year I didn't do it for Halloween.
Yes, I know, because I was hoping and never aired.
It didn't happen, I know. What was the last time I did a Halloween one? Was it 2 years ago?
I think you did it initially, maybe?
No, I've done it a couple of times. Because I did Evil Dead. That would have been the first one.
Good one. Did you watch the new one?
No.
Mommy's Home.
No. Okay, so technically I do own horror. I have the...
You own some. I don't think you own a lot of it.
No.
I don't own any horror movies, but I'm a huge horror fan.
Which I think is weird.
Yeah, I know. Because I think for me, watching... Like, the difference between you being a movie buff and me not so much is that I feel like a lot of movies that I've seen, it's like one time is fine.
You're like, that's...
Once is enough.
That's the thing. Like, I want to be able to watch movies more than once.
And that's why
I want to enjoy my experience.
That's why this podcast exists.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be for your shelf, then we wouldn't be here.
Oh my God, I know. That'd be so sad.
It would be very sad.
Oh my God, I would cry. But yeah,
so we're talking about the Royal Tenenbaums?
Yes. Oh, yes. We have to get onto the Royal Tenenbaums.
Sorry, guys. We always get very, very long-winded on these ones. So obviously, you're very welcome to, ask us for more of these long-winded episodes. We'd be happy to. But, if you're here for the Royal Tenenbaums, then
it's about to begin.
Yeah, it's about to begin.
I like this movie.
I love this movie.
This is not the first time you saw it, right?
No, I've seen it before.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen it before. I've seen a lot of Wes Anderson movies, and at some point I stopped watching them.
I've seen
the last few that have come out, I've not seen them.
But they were on Netflix, right? So I haven't watched the Netflix shorts yet.
It just feels like he has a shtick that never goes away.
So you didn't see French Dispatch?
No.
I liked French Dispatch.
Is that the one with that's the one post the hotel one, right?
That's two posts.
Budapest Hotel. I think the hotel one is the last one I saw.
Yeah, that means you didn't see the one with the kids at camp.
Yeah, did not. I think that came out during COVID.
No, that one didn't come through COVID.
I wasn't interested in it.
Why can't I remember the name of that fucking movie right now?
Oh no! Whatever will we do?
We'll not have a good day. That's all. Oh yeah, you didn't see Asteroid City then?
No, don't care.
Did you see Isle of Dog?
No.
Oh, loved it. Yeah.
Great movie. I know a lot of people told me that it's really good, but I just inherently don't care about dogs.
No, Grand Budapest Hotel came out after Moonrise Kingdom, so you're fine.
There you go.
Did you see Moonrise Kingdom?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's when I kind of started to fall out of the Wes Anderson vibes. What I will say is that Wes Anderson and Baz Luhrmann both have this thing in common. They have a very specific feel in their movies that they've done. Especially I feel Wes Anderson more so because he's really stuck with that kind of vibe throughout all of his filmography. But
he prefers it though.
He prefers it, and that's totally fine because I just think there is the minute you get into it, minute you start a movie that he's directed or he's produced or any of those kinds of things, you instantly are in his world.
Yeah.
And I think I prefer just a more modern version of it. I feel like Sam Esmail is another one who does very similar things. He did Mr. Robot. He did another show that came out on Prime, I think. It was Janelle Monáe was in the second season, and I can't remember the name of it at the moment.
Didn't watch it.
But
didn't watch Mr. Robot either,
but same thing. It's he instantly introduces you into this kind of world building that you get into it right away, and instantly I find it's relatable and you get engaged in it. So that part of Wes Anderson movies I really enjoy because when you're watching it, it's you get to kind of go off into another space.
Well, I think that's he tries to make, even though his stories take place in our world, he tries to make them like a fairy tale.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they're so specifically visualized.
Yeah.
Because it's this visual ideal filled with flawed characters like the real world.
Yeah. And if ever you don't like the character, there's so much going on in the background that it's lovely to watch.
Yeah.
Even if you don't.
There's no such thing as a boring scene in a Wes Anderson movie.
No. Especially in this one because it's tied into what we really love is it has this literary twist to it.
Yes, it's a story being told.
Yeah. Exactly. And then there's chapters and it's very much it kind of engages if you are particularly a bookworm. It will engage you instantly because it feels very much of that world of what this kind of book that comes to life would be like.
Yeah. So it does that. So this one does it. Fantastic Mr. Fox does it. Mm-hmm. Grand Budapest Hotel does it.
Yeah.
And French Dispatch kind of does it, but it's a magazine and not a book.
And the aesthetic in the movie is so hilarious because funnily enough, like Royal Tenenbaums is after which Tommy Hilfiger, Ralph Lauren, all of them started to do these like family campaigns. He was the person. He was the person because of all of the marketing and all of the campaigns around this movie. That when they first started to film this like large group of like eclectic people, they're like, wait a second, we have all of these vibes in our clothes, and so maybe we should start shooting these campaigns. And now, hilariously, there's this company called the Rowing Blazers, and they do these iconic collabs with like Babar the Elephant. They do it with Tintin, and it's all very prep, but it's all very Royal Tenenbaum-y looking. Mm-hmm. So they're out of New York, and like they do these really, really great pieces, but it's always hilarious because instantly when you look at a campaign visual, or if you see like something that they've produced in terms of how they've styled it, it always has this Wes Anderson
esqueness to it.
Yeah.
Well, there's a whole like online social media community.
Yeah, there's like, actual accounts.
They're like what we do is look and do stuff like Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
Here you go.
So it's a great way to make movie because you have a very like same thing. You have this credible, identifiable look to and feel to your movies that the minute somebody sees a scene of it, even if the sound is off, they're like, oh, it's a Wes Anderson movie, you know? And I think people have tried to emulate it from time to time, but it never quite, because he really thinks about it right down to like the last like light switch on the wall.
Well, even so a thing I read about how he writes his characters and all this kind of stuff is that he has very long scripts.
Yeah.
For his movies. And it's because he puts in descriptions, like extensive descriptions for everything. Mm-hmm. Right? So like if you see like there's a scene where the camera's panning across like a classroom, right? But the only people in it is your main character and some kid in the background and like the teacher. But there's a page description of the background of the teacher. There's a page description of the kid in the background. So you have a very specific idea of what this person is doing in the scene, even if the person's not doing anything. And
he works with like the same crew all the time.
All the time, yeah.
So it's easy.
I think that's how he makes sure he gets the same feel and idea.
Yeah. And that his movies feel authentic to him.
Yes, yeah.
You know, so they don't...
But also the thing I've realized is... So the movies he did before this are just Bottle Rocket and Rushmore.
Right.
And if you watch Bottle Rocket and Rushmore, Bottle Rocket, you'll be like, I only know this is a Wes Anderson movie because the main characters are played by the Wilson brothers. That's it. Mm-hmm. Rushmore, you'll be like, this is Rushmore. This is Wes Anderson. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
This movie is where I find his aesthetic is evolving to the point where you're just like, he's just on the cusp of Wes Anderson-ness.
Yeah.
You know?
And he hasn't gone full blown. He hasn't gone full tilt.
Yeah. And he hits it the next movie, which is Life Aquatic, which is my favorite Wes Anderson movie. And then it just gets more specified every movie after that.
Yeah.
But like, this is the transition movie.
Yeah.
I find.
Where he's really starting to like develop, like he has a way of storytelling and he's definitely coming into his own of being like, this is going to work. And I think when people responded to it is when he was like, okay, I'm going to do another one. And each time people go out and lap it up. So then why not make more of them? Because it's his world that he's building, you know? I think the themes in the movie are really interesting too, because it's like what they're talking about is not particularly easy to talk about.
It's not.
You know, it's like it's a dad has abandoned his family who then comes back, and then he's kind of like a bit of a scumbag.
Well, he technically comes back only to swindle them. It's to benefit himself. Yeah,
and then like, and up until like the climax of the movie, you're kind of like, ugh, why are you still here? You're such an awful person. You know, and they're obviously showing you like the effects of people who grow up in those environments. Those are real things that are happening to people. Mm-hmm. So it's not just some, you know, it's not as outlandish a plot, I find.
But I don't think the overall plots of most of his movies are outlandish. It's how they get there is outlandish.
Yeah.
The world they're in is outlandish.
Yeah. Asteroid City seemed the most outlandish from all of his releases.
I mean, yeah. No. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
But then if you have to make it, like, I think how they're not very far apart, the releases he's had for streaming.
They're on average, they're like 2 years apart or so.
Yeah. That's a short time.
No, but the way people put out movies and music and stuff these days, it's just like, if you're not putting out something every 6 months,
Rihanna, where's the album?
You're forgotten by society. Yeah. Oh, except for Rihanna, it's been like 8 years.
7 albums in 7 years, and then she's like, okay, bye.
Yeah, and she's putting out kids
and then just getting dragged for going
a company and doing whatever and doing a lackluster performance at some.
I think it's hilarious that people are dragging her for going to India and making $6 million for like a 90-minute show, and they're like, how dare she not sing most of her songs? Why do you care? Were you there?
Yeah. Did you pay $6 million for this? Get over yourself.
Oh, it's like, you're just mad that you didn't get to go to the 90-minute show.
Truth.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
So Royal Tenenbaums, I feel like I said, we were talking about the themes of the movie, and I feel like the themes are so, I just find they're so relatable, even if it hasn't happened to you, because you know what it's like to feel uninvited. You know what it's like to feel abandoned. You know, you may know.
You know what it's like to feel excluded.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what it's like to work so hard and lose something.
Yeah.
Even if it's not your fault.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
You know what it's like to, you know, get to a point in your life where you think everything is fine.
Yeah. And the commonality in both of these movies is that it really reflects a lot on this like lost relationship. Yeah. You know, this lost like love, and it's happening between two different couples in the Royal Tenenbaums. Romeo and Juliet, obviously. Three actually. Yeah, three. Yeah, 3 of them. And obviously one who's like processing his grief.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really interesting that like they are such wildly different movies, but the themes are not that far apart.
Yeah. Agreed. Like, cause it's a lot of, Wes Anderson is known for specifically looking at father-son relationships.
A lot. Darjeeling Limited is like that too, no?
Yeah, it's one of his worst.
Yeah.
I actually think it's still worse than whatever. I think it's his worst. It's too literal.
That's what you get when you're trying to exploit South Asians. Just kidding. I'm kidding. It's a joke.
No,
it's a joke.
I was not. I was not gonna defend it or get mad at you in any way, shape, or form. No.
People do not write comments about this. It's just a joke.
Write all the comments. Down with Nilesh.
We're not talking about the white lens on a whole subculture.
Yes. Wait, no, but that was part of the whole movie, right? Wasn't it that these white people were like, we'll go to Asia to find ourselves because that's what we're supposed to do. Yeah. Sorry, India.
Yeah. That's in Asia. Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
They didn't film it in India though.
No, they didn't. It was like a soundstage somewhere. I'm like, whatever. And there's that part with the tiger, and you're just like,
yeah.
I've seen you do better claymation. Like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Anyways. I think Adrian Brody just ruined that movie. Last comment. I'm done. I swear.
Royal Tenenbaums. So like
cast again. So he focused again on fathers, father figures and father roles on this family, and then the dynamics between the different kids.
Yeah.
Right? Where the father, even though he abandoned them, clearly picked a favorite and was like, the other two, you guys suck. And, you know, poor Margot was like, I'm here, but you're adopted. Like, it was kind of mean. But it was great. It was well presented. And it wasn't, I find usually when you get movies like that do this kind of thing, they come across as mean. Whereas I find it doesn't come across as mean.
This doesn't. It comes across very earnest, actually.
It does. Yes.
Yeah. And even some of the dynamics are kind of like that. Like where you should be feeling like you can't really hate any of these characters because like eventually everybody redeems themselves to a certain extent except for like Owen Wilson. But he does kind of. I mean, he has an addiction issue. It's not his fault.
Yeah, he realizes at the end of the movie that he has a problem and he really should get help. Even though, you know, the poor, what is it, Barkley?
Yeah.
Dies. Oh, poor dog. Who's been through such a harrowing experience already, and to die this way. Horrible. But
out of the kettle and into the frying pan.
Right? But at the end, he comes to a revelation that he does need help. He does need to change. He does need to fix himself because his money is not the thing that is going to save him. He needs to not be so lonely.
Right. Which is what's going on for most of. They're all experiencing something to that effect on their own as well. Yeah. Everybody is kind of like, all the characters are kind of experiencing that to a certain extent.
Yeah, the mother, the father, the two brothers.
Yeah.
Guy across the street, pagoda,
Yeah. While the script is not particularly complex, it works because the cast. Does. Stellar cast.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I find this movie is so well cast that you can't possibly imagine anybody else doing any of these things in this movie and it coming across as heartfelt and earnest as it does.
Yeah. And it stays like that throughout like the movie. Like I find that as you start to discover in the beginning, obviously there is a lot of obfuscation where like you're seeing these characters, but you don't really quite know what's happening except for like the surface information, right?
Correct.
And so it's developed that way on purpose where you really don't know how to react to these people. They just feel very like, okay, everybody's on some kind of trip. Mm-hmm. And then, except for the mom. And as things start to go on in the movie, you're like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. You know?
Yeah.
And even comes down to like, there's a conversation between Gwyneth Paltrow and Luke Wilson that like, even though he really loves her, she has really been kind of like, I guess, doing her own thing. And kind of been in the company of Owen Wilson, but they're both spending time talking about Luke, which is really like, it's wild that like the thing that they kind of correlate back to is that like, no, actually like you're always a person that everybody loved and that's how we always talked about you, but you know? Mm-hmm. So anyways, but that I find like there's a lot of portions in the movie where you're watching and you really genuinely feel for these people, even though they're just fictional characters.
Yeah, I think because they come across as definitely multidimensional and they're not like just one way. And the part where Luke Wilson's character, Richie Tenenbaum, like, you know, tries to commit suicide. Mm-hmm. It's so
that is such a gut-wrenching moment in the movie because even when he's kind of like clipping his beard and his hair and stuff, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill myself tomorrow," and all of a sudden tomorrow's today.
Yeah, all of a sudden he just starts cutting his wrists.
And that scene, the visual of it, it's very
like, one thing about the scene is that it's not gratuitous or like gross or anything. Like you don't see like the blade go into like his arm or anything. You just see him handle a blade and then you see his hands covered in blood. And then
there's a point, doesn't he take the bandages off to show Gwyneth Paltrow?
Yeah, and you see
wild,
the scar. It's
wild.
But the thing is, the moment you see those scars, it's like 3 seconds and it cuts to her face.
Yeah.
So it's not like lingered on or anything.
No.
It's just like the action of him opening it, and it cuts to her face, and she's like, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
You know, like it's this realization that she has hurt him so much, but.
He's also trying to show her, like, he's also trying to express, like the hurt that he's feeling inside, but he has no way to say it, so then he's kind of, like, trying to show it through, like, a physical representation.
Yeah. He hasn't been able to express that feeling his whole life, or has thought that he has to hide that feeling.
Or be particularly verbose about it,
Yes. Because, I mean, he says he got up and left for, a year and a half to just be like, I have to get away from you. If I'm away from you, I'm not going to think about you. And he's like, I thought about you every day. It's
super, honestly, if I had to say between the two, if I had to pick, I'd pick the Royal Tenenbaums. And it would still, it's on my list of movies that I would watch again if I could.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like, I would do a back-to-back of this, like a double feature of these two movies. I don't mind.
That's a lot of melancholy. Feature. That's a lot of melancholy. Because even, I mean, I know that gunshot at the end of Romeo and Juliet is not particularly realistic. I'm so glad I saw that in the morning and not in the evening.
Really?
It's still, I find it sad.
Well, it's supposed
not
to be.
sad like like what I said before. It's like it's melancholy. Like that's what you experience after. You're like, ugh. Okay, now we gotta go watch some Simpsons or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? So there's certain movies that I will like. That feeling of it after you're like, this doesn't feel amazing. So that's what I would say about this one is that like it's a great movie to watch. But certain ones I'm like, whereas Royal Tenenbaums, I feel like at the end it still feels okay.
Well, that's the thing. Like I watched Royal Tenenbaums second because I was like, I don't think I can handle feeling sad. Right. And when I watched it, I was like, at the end of the movie, I'm like, that's not as sad as I remember it. But also, like the suicide scene, like I said, is still gut-wrenching. Or the part where Chaz Tenenbaum finally realizes maybe he's not doing as well as he's trying to pretend he's doing. You know what I mean? So it was like, it's a lot. A lot happens in that movie. But also, honestly, surprisingly, Royal Tenenbaums is shorter than Romeo and Juliet. Yes. But so much more happens in it, I find.
The one thing I will give Wes Anderson is that he knows how to edit.
He does. He's very good at using all of his scenes for a purpose. Yeah. And even in movies where it's just like, no, I'm just setting the scene. So here is a picture of a space. The space, you need to know the space for a reason. And it comes into play later on. So it's not just like, oh, here, let's look at rolling landscapes and blah, 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 and then never go back to it. He doesn't. If you see that rolling landscape in a Wes Anderson movie, trust me, they're going to be back in that rolling landscape at some point in time for a reason.
Yeah, yeah. He uses everything that, like, he comes up with. Everything is used, and you can tell, too, that, like, yes, they do edit out certain parts of it, but not, like, 80% of it's not left in the editing room.
Correct. But he's also known for that, though. Yeah. He's known for just like, no, this is the scene we're shooting. Yeah. This is the scene we're going to have. And he might do it one or two takes.
A lot of it also helps you build. I find like when you're watching it, there are certain scenes where he just does it because he's like, this is building the world. Mm-hmm. So then it doesn't matter that like it's not necessarily central to the plot line, but it's still a scene that's going to help you regardless understand where you are in the movie and what kind of movie this is going to be.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I do like this movie. It's lovely.
Honestly, it was a great watch. Mm-hmm. I really don't regret it at all.
I will admit your comments about the later Wes Anderson movies, especially after the Grand Budapest Hotel, I get it. Like, despite the fact that they still have, like, that whimsy and that interest, you don't get the same, like, oh, I really want to watch that again. Or that, like, that was really good.
It doesn't feel authentic. Like it doesn't feel authentic to necessarily like this kind of movie that he has been making. You know what I mean? So it feels a bit more commercial.
No, I actually find he used to write a story, and then his style would be imposed on the story. Whereas now he's like, no, I want specific visual styles, and then he writes a story around it, so it doesn't feel as earned. If you know what I mean. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Even though I still find the stories to be interesting. They're worth watching.
I'm sure that like a lot of them, he can make a movie that's not watchable. Like he's rarely had missteps since Royal Tenenbaums. So it's kind of like even his unwatchable stuff is watchable in comparison to other movies that are out there. Yeah. You know?
Like Bottle Rocket, his first movie, I think I've seen that whole movie. Never in a single sitting. Mm-hmm. It puts me to sleep. I don't know.
There you go.
So, but since Rushmore, everything. I can watch all of it. I don't want to watch Darjeeling Limited. We've already covered that. But everything else.
And that's okay. I feel like it's okay to not have like a 10 out of 10. Nobody does. Does Christopher Nolan? No. He's had some missteps.
No. Yeah. A third Batman movie.
Yeah, I forget that he was part of those. Yeah. Tenet was not terrible. He just got too lost in the science of it. I think he forgot that it's a movie that he's making.
I watched a movie in the theater in the middle of the pandemic, and I could have died.
You went to go see Tenet in the theaters?
Yeah,
and I really liked it. Died. Huh? Good for you. I waited.
No, I didn't like it. I was mad.
No, but you liked the trailer enough to go see it.
Yes. I was just like, oh, this shit's gonna be amazing. You have to watch this on a screen. And there's like 5
It's
other
the worst.
theater,
it's the worst when somebody switches it up on you.
Right? It was that in like New Mutants? Worst movies.
Is the New Mutants the one that Seth Rogen produced?
No, that's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, New Mutants like the one that's supposed to like be like X-Men-esque, but
it's an adjacent X-Men story.
What?
Yes.
But they just wiped all that, right? Like they just got rid of all those people.
Yes, because it was horrendous.
Why did that movie? That movie was getting billed as so many things. It was really weird. I've never seen it, but I remember the trailers just turning all of a sudden. Like at first, it was being positioned as like a horror thriller. Then it became like, guys, it's actually part of like this franchise, and it's gonna be this, and these kids are gonna come up as nothing happens.
It's a bad movie. So it's a badly done movie that didn't know what it was, cast a bunch of people and wasted their potentials in it, and it just didn't go anywhere.
It's unfortunate when that happens.
But yeah, so these are the movies I almost killed myself for in the pandemic, and I'm still mad about it.
So it's not on your shelf for sure.
No, it's not. So, whereas these 2 movies, I'm very happy are on my shelf because I thoroughly enjoy them.
Yeah, agreed. They're honestly, like, they're both really things that people should have in there. If you are somebody who collects movies, or if you are somebody who's making a list of, like, comprehensive things to watch, they're both really great movies to watch.
Yeah, they really are. And like, people just like, Romeo and Juliet, oh my God, nobody wants to watch a romance movie. I'm like, trust me.
But it's so much more than that, because I think
so much more than that.
You get to like really experience the original play, not in its entirety, but more so than other versions of Romeo and Juliet on film.
Yeah.
And I find like the cast is really watchable. They're all really cute.
And there are lots of the like I said. Like part of the
they're all wearing really nice, interesting clothes.
Is a costume party, and all the costumes at the costume party are really cool.
Yeah.
And all this kind of stuff. Like,
yeah,
I'm sorry, like her little angel outfit with the little wings, perfect.
Vivienne Westwood, perfect.
Really, yeah. I would never have guessed, because
I think it's pre Vivienne Westwood vibes, but like it is Vivienne Westwood the dress.
Yeah. And Romeo shows up in like chainmail with like knights, with gauntlets on his arms and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like,
his friends in drag.
Perfect. His friends in drag.
Like this is this is pretty prolific, because in the 90s nobody was doing this in a mainstream movie, putting a man in drag.
Yeah.
Like, yes, unless it was for comedic effect.
And it was pseudo for comedic effect, but it was also like, no, like,
he's still very much a man.
Mercutio is very much a man who's comfortable with his sexuality, so he can't put on a dress and lipstick and still be like,
doesn't
I will
care.
fucking cut you. But also, let's have a good time.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah.
It just fucking works. And he's fantastic. Like,
they're all, honestly, I think like it, no one really talks about it enough now, because now there's such a thing of like, well, you have this much following on social media, you too get to be an actor. And there are things that are happening in that way. People are getting cast in movies because of what they can pull on social media. The problem being, though, is that some of these people are not great for the roles that they're in.
Correct.
And so these movies go to show that like you can take something that has been done forever and ever. Shakespeare, you have experienced this story in some way, shape, or form. If you've never seen the movie, you still know what the story is, but you still watch it to the end because it's pulling you along. Royal Tenenbaums, not a particularly complex script, not necessarily some like newfangled, plot line, but at the same time, the cast engages you so much that you're just like, you want to see what happens. You want to see how it turns out for everybody.
Yeah, and they bring forth these characters that you're just like, you care about them quite quickly.
Yeah.
And you're like, you want to see them succeed. You want to see them not fail. You want to see them happy at the end.
Yeah.
Like you want to be friends with these people.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah. It would be
steal their clothes. Perfect.
Yes.
They're all wearing amazing clothes in these movies.
Yeah. I will say, Anjelica Huston in this movie is the mother, the matriarch.
Yeah. That's her softest role to date.
But I also feel like she should have won an Oscar or something for her role.
Has she never been nominated or won?
I don't know, actually. Hold on. So Royal Tenenbaums was nominated for 1 Oscar. And it was Best Writing and Screenplay. That's understandable. My God, it didn't win anything. That's so sad. But let's see, Anjelica Huston. I mean, she must have been at least nominated for a bunch of stuff, I think.
I would think so. She's been around for so long, and she is such an immense actor.
Yeah. But like, I was watching her in this movie. Oh, she has one Oscar. But like, I was watching her specifically in this movie, and I was like, this was such a good role for her.
Yeah.
And like, she did,
and she fit it
amazing. She fit it so well.
In the beginning, I wasn't so sure.
Job.
Like, I remember watching the movie originally, and I was like, "Oh my God, is she gonna be like a cold mom?" And she really isn't. She's actually a really warm character, or written very warmly in a movie which doesn't really have as many warm characters at the beginning.
So she won an Oscar in 1986 for a movie called Parisi's Honor for Best Actress in a Supporting Role. I have never heard of that movie before in my life.
But she's been nominated twice?
3 times.
Wow. Good for her. She deserves it.
Yeah. Agreed. I think she does deserve it. Oh, she was not... Boston Society of Film. Yeah. It's an ensemble cast. But yeah, no. I like this movie. Whatever. But people know already that I'm a Wes Anderson fan, so...
I've pretty much liked everything that he's done. But obviously, as time has gone on, things happen. And sometimes, even though you're making really great movies, maybe they're not making you back as much as you need to continue doing the work that you want to do. So you have to go out and do something a little bit more financially smarter. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I feel like it shows in the work a bit. But I think in this, it's really, like, you can really see that there's a truth to the way the movie has been made. That's why it feels... Like, I feel like we watched it just Thursday of this week, and it feels like it had come out yesterday.
Yes, yeah.
How many movies do we know that still can say that? Because sometimes you watch an older movie and you're like, this is very much of its time.
Well, actually, to tell you the truth, if Romeo and Juliet was cast differently, but it was filmed exactly the same way, I could see this have coming out within the last 5 years.
Yeah. Like with people who are of now.
Yes.
Yeah. I get it.
Like the way the hyper colors and the frantic nature of it and stuff like that.
It'd probably be even more perfected now, because I think at the time nobody was really doing that kind of jittery, kind of photography. And I feel like now they really have a handle on it. Yeah. So they'd be like, oh, this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I do fear that there would be like nudity in this for no reason, but
for sure.
But that's
for sure.
Like the part where they wake up,
it's art.
In bed together. They'd just be like tits everywhere, and here's a penis randomly, and blah blah blah, and like the costume party. Somebody's gone, like, at that one point in time, they were on drugs, so there's definitely going to be somebody who's naked for no reason. Yeah. I'm very happy this movie didn't do that.
It'd have been Euphoria all over.
Right? But yeah, no, like the style of it and the visual nature of it, I could definitely have seen this being put out in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah.
Absolutely. There's something about it that I find it's the universal themes of the movie. That's really what keeps it like that, Because sometimes you watch like a Die Hard and you're like, this movie is very much of its time.
Yeah. It's still great though.
Or what's that Sandra Bullock movie where like things get hacked, The Net?
Oh my God. Well, because they have to explain the internet and what going online is.
Yeah.
What?
So this is what I'm saying is that like when the themes are universal, it really makes it so your movie kind of becomes like this kind of point in time, but it doesn't stay there.
Well, the Royal Tenenbaums doesn't stay in the point in time, because if you look at the visuals of the movie, it's already not in a specific time. Yeah. So it can't get stuck in a time.
It's all the neutral parts of New York.
Yeah. And also the way they dress is kind of from the 70s, but the way they talk about things is the modern times. Yeah. But then you have these like this weird cab service that you're just like, are you in like ghetto? Like what is happening?
Gypsy cab.
Yeah, and they don't use technology. Like they don't the TV, for example. There's like one TV in the whole movie, and it's a tiny portable TV from like 1970 for some reason. And you're just like, oh, that's just a piece of junk she's been carrying around with her since she was like a kid or something. And so like nothing about it screams, oh no, this is 2000, or takes place in 1970, or this place takes place in the future. You're just like, this just takes place whenever, and it works. It works.
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't agree more with you on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it, I think. I don't know. Anything else you want to say?
No, we talked a little bit about what would make your shelf today. Mm-hmm. Nothing, apparently.
Not from these Oscars. Oh, no, that's Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Did you even see it?
I didn't see it because they refused to be normal and do one movie instead of doing part 1 and part 2. So when part 2 comes out, I'll watch part 1 again. It's fine. I can't be bothered. It just feels...
I honestly, when I watched that first part, I didn't know it was a part 1, but I still would have watched it.
It feels unnecessary. The only reason I know is because one of my other friends had gone to see it, and they're like, oh my God, it's actually a part 1 of 2. And I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You are not going to do this to me. But I do enjoy the original one that came out.
Into the
Spider-Verse. I really actually, as a movie, I think I've seen it like some 3 times, which is unheard of for me. Yeah.
What?
Because there's so much to see, and I really feel like if you're watching it only once, you don't catch everything else that's going on in the background, like in terms of the animation.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful movie to watch.
Absolutely beautiful. I just want to see. So, okay, what are the Best Picture nominations this year? Was Oppenheimer?
American Fiction is a good movie.
Didn't see Oppenheimer, so I can't comment. I actually really liked American Fiction.
Yeah, I did too.
I thought it was fantastic.
I love Issa Rae's line where she's like, potential is the thing that everyone says, like, when you don't make it. Like,
no, it's when you don't think they're good enough.
When you don't, like, it's potential. Yes. And so I just feel like it's just there's some really interesting scenes. Mm. I love the end. The end of it is amazing. So well done.
Yeah.
Another movie that, like I said, cast works really well.
Really well together. I was like, all the ads had Tracy Ellis Ross in it, and she dies in like 3 minutes. Sorry.
I think they were camping on the fact that she is an Emmy Award winner. Mm-hmm. She has been on an iconic show. She's a credible name. So is
Issa Rae, and so is
But Issa Rae is heavily featured in the trailer too.
Yeah, that's true. She's heavily in there. Yeah. Okay. I didn't see Anatomy of Fall, but it is on my watch list. It's actually one I do want to watch.
I started watching it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Just keep it to yourself. Yeah. Barbie I saw. I liked.
Love. I don't care what the holdover. I'm. You know what? I'm gonna go watch instead of the holdovers. Good Will Hunting is what I'm gonna go watch.
Oh, I hated Good Will Hunting.
Well, that's what the holdovers is.
Okay, so maybe I won't watch the holdovers.
I'm sure it's good. Paul Giamatti is just a really weird man to look at for 2 hours, so it's not high on my list. He's not high on my list.
Okay. Killers of the Flower Moon. I didn't
worth it, and it's actually this is a real thing. This actually happened, so it's not fiction.
That does not sell it for me.
But in terms of like, I didn't know that part of American history, so I found it really I was like, wait, what? Like, apart from all of the horrifying things that have happened to Indigenous people throughout the Americas,
this is just another level.
It was wild.
Maestro, not gonna see.
I actually saw it and fell asleep in the first 15 minutes. I woke up post-climax, the portion of it where he finally gets to conduct, so
you missed him conducting the thing?
I missed 80% of the movie. I was having a very long day. I should not have gone to see this movie because the movie is very boring.
Okay.
I think there's better movies out there about classical music and classical musicians and maestros and conductors.
Tar is supposed to be better?
Oh, way better.
Okay.
I mean, but it's Cate Blanchett.
She is fantastic.
Come on.
She's fantastic.
She can elevate it. She elevated her role in Thor.
She was so good.
She was the only good part about a bad movie.
Past Lives is also on my watch list.
Please make time to go see Past Lives. I'm not even joking, for a movie that is heavily subtitled, really, really well made. And a lot of it actually is, there are parts of it that happen in Toronto, and like, it's done super well. It's a very good movie.
I saw Poor Things.
I saw Past Lives on just a lark. Like, I just happened to be like, oh, I have like an empty afternoon. What am I going to go do? And I went to go see Past Lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd only ever seen the trailer once in passing online, not even in a theater.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's actually been on my list for a little while to watch. I thought it would be sweet.
Yeah. It is. It's very well done. And honestly, Greta Lee, like, I mean, I've seen her in that Apple TV show with Jennifer Aniston, forget the morning show. That versus the other show that she did with the girl from Orange is the New Black, where like she keeps dying and coming back. Netflix show.
Wait, that's her?
That's her. She's
in Russian Doll?
Yeah, in Russian Doll. She's the one of the hosts. She's the host
of the party.
Yeah. So come on. Like, just she never plays the same person again. And so deserves every like every accolade, all the adulation, all the accolades.
Okay. Poor Things, I saw. I did not like it. It upset me a great deal. Zone of Interest, I will not be watching.
I will not be watching it either. Okay. It's too, like, I think it's too in the Schindler's List verse that.
Well, yeah. It's about Auschwitz.
I just said the Schindler's List. I meant Schindler's List.
Yes.
I feel like it's too much in that world for me to really watch that and still be like, not sad after. So
yeah,
I'm not trying to in 2024. I'm not trying to watch movies that leave me sad at the end.
Well, yeah, and this has been a lot of my film and TV watching lately. Yeah. It's just like, am I going to be depressed when I walk out of a theater or turn off my TV? No, then I will watch it. Yes, then I will pick something.
And in case somebody's wondering about what I said earlier about Oppenheimer, I saw Oppenheimer in theaters first, and then I watched Barbie right after.
Okay, so you had
I had a pick me up,
or a Oppen.
No, it's isn't it Barbenheimer?
Yeah, but you said you watched Oppenheimer first and then Barbie. Yeah. So it's an Oppen Barbie.
Well, I did it the other way because I knew that this was about the atomic bomb. So I was like, I'm going to need to watch Beautiful Things after.
So you want to watch some people blow shit up. And then you want to watch some people
blow the patriarchy up.
Yes, it's crazy. So I've only seen one.
We've seen a lot of them actually.
I've only seen 3 off this list.
I've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 8 of the 9.
There you go. Look at you. Look at you.
But you know the funny part is? I couldn't have told you anything about any of these movies.
I think I saw more of the animated nominations.
Really? And here's me calling Elemental the Cheetos movie.
Okay, I saw Boy and the Heron. I hated it. I saw Elemental. I hated it.
I actually wanted to go see Boy and the Heron, but I'm assuming that much like most Miyazaki work, it's very melancholy after.
Yeah, it's melancholy. I actually thought like
he's another person whose work I really love. I love to watch it because of what he does. But then after I'm like, I need to go for a walk. I need to go get a drink or like go and watch something happy after because it's always sad to me.
Yeah.
At the end.
Oh yeah, at the end, yeah.
Elemental, the Cheetos movie.
Yeah, I did not like
or
that.
Or is Nimona the Cheetos movie? Who has a flame on their head?
It's Elemental.
Cheetos movie.
Yeah, I didn't see Nimona or Robot Dreams, but Robot Dreams is actually on my watch list.
What's Robot Dreams?
It's
never heard of it.
It's about a robot.
Got it. WALL-E? What's WALL-E?
It's
WALL-E.
He can say more than WALL-E or robot or whatever. And then Across the Spider-Verse, of course, I watched.
So I've seen none.
You've seen none of these? Crazy.
I'm trying to go to the theater for real things, yo.
I love a good.
I said real things.
Oh my god! I saw Boy and the Heron and Across the Spider-Verse.
I would love to see Boy and the Heron, but
Elemental, I watched.
I'm a little afraid. I'm not currently living in that world where I'm going to be able to handle the melancholy after. So I feel like when I'm in a better space, I'll watch Boy and the Heron for sure. I will watch Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse when the second part comes out because this movie does not need 2 parts. Stop acting like you guys are launching some Greek tragedy. This is not. You could have just made 2 different movies. Make 3 movies. Don't do part 1 of 2.
Okay. I understand what you're saying.
So that's the only reason I haven't seen it, because I refuse to fall for this nonsense.
Okay. I will just say...
Listen, in this economy, where I'm not spending no $25.
Look, if I think it's worth it, I will spend the money. The Boy and the Heron was not worth it.
Do you prefer... when you go to the theater, do you like the VIP experience or do you like regular viewing?
Regular. I hate VIP and I hate 3D.
Fair. I hate 3D. I'll never watch 3D.
Yeah.
IMAX?
I don't mind IMAX as long as it's not
because it's just a screen.
IMAX. It's just a bigger screen.
Yeah.
And if I get a ticket and I'm at the side, I am not.
What's the other thing where the screen is their screens meeting at 90-degree angles? I've never seen this, but this, by the way, on a regular day to watch a movie with where the screens are meeting at 90-degree angles, they cost as much as a VIP movie viewing. I watch a lot of VIP at Queensway, but that's just because I like the theater there. However, I refuse to watch in a regular theater a $25 movie that is just about 2 screens meeting at 90-degree angles. So what is that about? Tell us.
So, accidentally I saw one of these movies.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
I did not buy the tickets for this movie. My friend was organizing, getting tickets.
Love that experience. Yeah.
Was like, oh, we're gonna go see it on like this Tuesday. Here is I bought the
Shout out your friend. Shout out your friend who brought you to the expensive movie.
No.
Come on.
No.
Who is it?
That's rude. Somebody's on here on a very regular basis.
Whoever is featured on this podcast a lot, people go in the comments and start asking who is it, because this person is worth keeping. They're bringing you to a regular movie viewing at $25 a piece.
So we get to the theater. We didn't he sends the tickets. I don't even look at them. I just show up at the theater.
Right.
Blah blah blah. So we get there, and my friend's just like, oh, what is it called? I even forget what it's called, but it was like it had like a something else under it. You know, like when you say like this movie 3D or this movie 4DX or whatever.
Well, there's so much description when you go see movies now.
Yeah, and so it had this other description. We're like, what is this? And they're like, what? We literally had to like Google try to figure out what this meant, and then we found what it meant, and we're just like, oh, I don't want to watch that. So we tried to exchange the tickets, but that was the only movie showing that day.
So you went with your friend who had some money.
And this was The Beekeeper, okay?
You went to go see The Beekeeper?
Great movie. Great
I'm loving this friend who's buying the most expensive tickets for the worst imaginable movie to go see in it.
Have you seen it?
No.
Do not judge. It is great.
I'm not watching The Beekeeper.
It is thoroughly entertaining. Anyway.
As a rule, I don't watch Statham movies. That's not true. I watched The Meg.
Damn right you did.
It's not because of me. It's because I have a friend like you who was just like, oh my God, this movie's gonna be so amazing. You don't even have to worry. I won't even make you pay for the tickets. I'll buy the tickets. And I was like, well, if I just have to go to the theater, whatever, I'll go.
Show up. Yeah.
I'll just show up.
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't get no 90-degree angle movie at $25.
So that was the last showing of the day, and it was only this version. Yikes. And we're just like, fuck it, let's go watch it. How bad could it be?
Yeah.
So we get in the theater, and it looks like a regular movie screen at first, and then the credits started. And the side walls, all of a sudden, there's like a projection of something coming out. It's like, because it's The Beekeeper. It was like a beehive or some shit, you know. And like.
So does it feel like you're watching a 3D movie without the glasses?
No.
What's the experience like?
So as the movie starts, right? Most of the movie is just on the regular screen in front of you. But at certain scenes, and it's really distracting because all of a sudden you see the projection elongates along the side suddenly. And you're like, oh, I guess this means something's about to happen.
So not throughout the movie. It only happens at certain times.
Certain times. And the worst part is because they're at 90-degree angles, there's like how it's connected. There's a big black line in the corners. And you're just like... So you're still cutting the picture. So what's the fucking point of this? Because I actually initially
this is what you call this kids is what you call a scam.
Yeah, because I initially thought it'd be like a rounded screen.
Yeah, like something.
Because it's supposed to be like 270 degrees.
Like almost like as if you're seeing an aquarium wall.
Yeah. But no, it's completely. It's just a fucking room.
Just scamming kids
and whatever.
Scamming kids, taking their money.
So distracting. Even in a cheesy action flick, I found it crazy distracting that it had this like every like 10 minutes or whatever, all of a sudden it appear and like because out of the corner of your eye you're like, what is that? You get distracted because something's happening at the side, and then you're just like, what?
Cineplex, you out here, you taking children's money,
you taking people's money. No, we're never doing that.
Although the person who got you tickets obviously is not worried about that because they are out here buying these tickets.
But they also didn't know what it was.
How do you not? But you instantly are like, wait, why is this movie costing you so much more than the average movie? Because the average movie in the regular viewing is $17.99 or $15.99. I think if it's on a Tuesday.
I have no idea.
So then, the reason I realized is because I too was going to a regular movie viewing, one day just by myself, like on an afternoon, and I was like, okay, whatever, I'll just go see a movie. It's whatever. So I walk in and buy a ticket at the kiosk there. And I don't think anything of it, because it's got all those little icons and descriptions. I was like, I'm not reading.
Just click it. Yeah.
I'm here to watch a movie. Why am I reading? What? Like, I'm illiterate. Come on. And so then I click on it or whatever, start to process it, and I was like, holds one now. Yeah. Why is this $28 after taxes? And I could not believe it. And I was like, well, for $28, I will take my behind right next door, because at Queensway, it's right next to it. They're separate buildings, but they're right next to each other. I'll just walk down the street and I'll go see it in a personalized theater where I was only one of 3 people in that theater. It was lovely. Felt like I was sitting in my living room.
Yeah.
And I got a bunch of snacks and I was like, this is perfect. I'll watch $25 worth of movie here.
Instead of over there, yeah.
Instead of a stupid seat in a regular pedestrian theater. So I was like, no, not going to be doing that. So, but I was like, because when I'm by myself, I don't really care. I can go see it either ways. But I was like, no, you're not going to charge me no $25 for this nonsense. And I clicked on the thing, in the kiosk, there's a thing where you can, when you click on the icon, it tells you.
Really?
Yeah. So that's how I figured out that the screens meet at this weird angle. And I was like, this sounds like a hoax. And
it is, people.
This is some Area 51 shit. So
yeah, it's really bad.
But yes, please ask in your comments who this amazing friend is, because I would like to shout them out, because I too want to be friends with you. I would love to go see regular movie viewings at $25.
Yeah.
That's really expensive, by the way. For the kind of theater that theaters are, I think it's really expensive. If you're going to like some indie theater and it's $25, I don't mind because I'm supporting a smaller business, but I'm not supporting Cineplex with that bullshit. No.
Okay.
Not today.
Wow.
Given the fact that Cineplex is a corporation.
A giant corporation?
Giant.
That just stealing all of our money?
Exactly.
Yes. And I'm there to support the films, not Cineplex.
Yeah.
Thank you.
$15.99 a movie. Are you insane on a Tuesday? It should be $7.
Oh my God. Yeah. Remember I got mad when they jacked up the Tuesday movies to like $6 from $5?
Can't cry about it now.
I remember losing my shit about that.
Can't cry about it now.
What? Ugh. Crazy.
But thank you very much for listening, guys, and thank you for having me on the pod again. I'm gonna come back for another episode, I think.
Thank you for letting me be part of your podcast.
I just wanted to take over. I just wanted to lessen your workload. Mm-hmm. But yes, please do obviously ask us all the questions and all the comments.
Yes, feel free to.
And leave reviews for this girl. She's been at it for a few years now, and she's had multiple seasons. Reviews matter, guys. I didn't know this until I started following a bunch of podcasts, including this one. And I didn't realize that reviews mattered as much as it did. So please review. Just write review. Who cares?
Yeah.
And post it. So review.
Put some stars on there.
Yeah,
nice.
Exactly. I mean, it's a 5-star review for this meandering conversation. 100%.
All of my episodes are meandering conversations.
Yes.
That's the point of this podcast.
Exactly.
Thank you. But yeah, no, thank you for coming.
No, I'm so excited to be back. It's been very, very long. Mm-hmm. This is less meandering than our previous conversation, but it's still meandering adjacent. So I feel like when I'm back again, hopefully, it'll be more concise.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody's listening for that.
You're crazy. Well, thanks again for coming. And
my pleasure.
See you again soon.
My pleasure. Absolutely. We'll be back. Don't forget to review, ask in comments who that friend is. I want to be friends with you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Well, that's it for this episode of Off My Shelf. Until next time, you can follow along on Instagram and Twitter at ohmyshelf, or you can send an email to ohmyshelf@gmail.com. This episode was produced and edited by me, Tracy, with original theme song by Ori Falconer. Like, subscribe, leave a comment wherever you listen to this podcast. Come back next time to see what falls off my shelf.